What's up, everybody? That's right. It's Tuesday. Listen, I apologize for not being here last week, but this week, you know what it is. The regular season has ended. It is now time for playoffs. Playoffs? That's right, playoffs. The Cowboys are in. Welcome to Cowboys Cutting Up. I am J-Stogs, the Buff Nerd. Let's go. Usually I'm joined by Trey Collis. Hopefully he's doing well, resting up. Not sure. Maybe, holidays getting to him. I don't know. But hey, I'm here and you know what it is. It's Cowboys football. It's America's team. Of course, we're going to break down this regular season and we're going to break down what's going to happen in the coming week. Hopefully weeks. Hopefully weeks. But I'm super excited to first of all call my Dallas Cowboys, America's team, the NFC East champions. Let's go. Usually I have big game. He's, clapping. He probably say boo or hiss. But look, we know that this was a great season to this point. Look, there's some disappointing things that we have to clear up as far as, and I say we, I talk about the team being able to win on the road is imperative. You cannot always have all your games at home. Even though they got all their games at home this season, is fantastic. That last game they absolutely needed, and they did it. Now there's some questions about why Dak and the starters like CeeDee Lamb, Pollard, and even some of the linemen were still in late into the game. They actually got pulled around the 4 minute mark left um, in the game. But look, get tuned up, get ready, because you know who you got next. Well, you don't know who you have next, but you know that you're going to have an opponent that they're going to come with it. Everybody has a winning record now. Everybody, even the Bucks. Isn't that crazy? The Bucks. Hey, I have to give it to Big Game. He said they were going to win 10 games. I told him he's crazy. He's out of his mind. There's no way anyone in an NFC South is going to get 10 wins. But lo and behold, they did. And there was some controversy. So make sure that you check out this week's Big Game Sports Buzz. We're definitely going to be talking about what's going on in NFC South. And make sure you check out the Pewter Perspective with Big Game James. Woo-hoo. Hot stuff going on in hot Atlanta. But this is about the Cowboys. Look, I've ridden Dak this whole season and said that he has not been or is not a great quarterback, a good quarterback, but not a great quarterback. I still stick to that. He's a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. Top 10? Okay, sure. Top 5? Nah, I still can't put him there. There's still issues that he has throwing receivers open, pre snap reads. And listen, Washington is Washington, okay? The commies are the commies. We have to call it what it is. But he did what he needed to do. He beat the teams he was supposed to beat, with the exception of Arizona. But he's going to have to be better, especially now that we're into the playoffs. Statistically, best season he's had being a Cowboys in the 8 seasons he's been here. He's now turning 30 years old. Best season that he's had. Can we say that maybe McCarthy had something to do with this? Sure, he did. Because again, best statistical season that Dak has ever had. Dak is now understanding the concepts, and maybe it's the fact that the here we go actually helps him and the team get in sync and on the same timeline, and actually understanding, hey, we're ready to go now. Everyone's set. Make your reads. I'm ready to go. But it also means that the other team knows. But if you can't stop a good team, you can't stop a good team. It doesn't matter. You can call Omaha, here we go, or whatever you're going to call. Right. So, looking at this and understanding what we see here with the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, going into playoffs as a second seed. Now, here's what's great. And I don't want to belabor this point, but there was a lot of doom and gloom, especially after the Buffalo game. Oh, they're not going to make it. Told you they had a tough road ahead. After the Philly game, emotional high, we thought, okay, well, we got a chance, But we have a tough schedule: Buffalo, Miami, Detroit. Man. And our only saving grace was going to be Washington, which was the season finale. Yes, again, tough games. Barely lost to Miami. Excuse me. Ooh, Buffalo definitely had our number. In Detroit, well, I don't want to talk about Detroit. We came out with a W. That's all that really matters. So as we move into the playoffs, now we see that we have, guess who? Green Bay. Now, normally, as a Cowboys fan, you'd be a little nervous because Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, um, I'm sorry, douche Dodgers. Let's keep it 100 for the 24, as Cat would say, because truth don't need motivation. The reality is that Green Bay has had our number with Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers isn't back there. Jordan Love is back there. So now we can say, hey, okay, can we get Jordan Love? Is he Aaron Rodgers? Is he douche Dodgers? No, he's not. But he's not a bad quarterback. Okay. He actually, at the back half and back third of this season, has done fairly well. And his numbers and Dak's numbers are pretty comparable. So we have to look at this thing realistically and say, okay, Green Bay's going to come in. And if they know anything about football, which I believe LaFleur does, they're going to run the ball. And they have a good running back in Jones. They run the ball, they're going to get at least 100 yards out of them. Our problem is, can we stop this run? Well, we can't. At least we haven't been able to. And maybe something gets ramped up here. Maybe Dan Quinn talks to the team and says, listen, we've got to stop the run. I would love to see more of Michael Parsons off the ball instead of being a set piece on the edge. Have him move around a little bit. Don't let him just tee off on him. Listen, you've heard me say this throughout the season. Michael Parsons has had the least amount of holding calls called on the person that is playing him. What does that mean? Basically, what I'm saying is, yes, they hold him. No, they don't call it. We all know this, yet he's still a Pro Bowler. He's just that type of guy, and he doesn't complain about it. That's great. Wonderful. Hey, Coach McCarthy, I need you to step up. You should be complaining about this. Dan Quinn, where are you? You should be complaining about this. Everyone else is complaining except the team. I have an issue with that. So step up, fight for your guys. This guy is getting held. You can look at the tape, any game. He hasn't had a holding call for him, for him since the 6th week of the season. We just played 18. That means for what? 12 weeks. 12 weeks. There's not been one single person that has held Micah Parsons. Yet he's up for Defensive Player of the Year. Come on. Come on. Be better. Know better. Do better. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Micah Parsons, Tank Lawrence. I need you to step up, man. Um, Hopefully Armstrong is in. We need everybody to step up and play this game like this is their last, because guess what? It could be. They have a good running game. Jordan Love can play. Let's not, yeah, I understand young quarterback likes to throw off his back foot, but guess what? He can throw off of his back foot, zip the ball down the field, no issues. So what does that mean for Deron Bland and Jordan Lewis and Stephon Gilmore and that crew back there? Hey, you're going to have to be able to do your thing. You're going to have to be able to hold these receivers, which I think they can. Be a ball hawk. He's going to make mistakes. That depends on your front 6/7. Can they put pressure on him? Absolutely. Will they have to? Absolutely. If you do, that hurries the quarterback, which means now Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis, Stephon Gilmore, you have a chance to be there to pick it off. Heck, maybe even get you a pick six. Bell needs to step up and be that nickelback that can Put the hat on Jones or whoever's running the ball. See, that's the problem. If you look at the games that we lost, they had one running back that had at least 100 yards, but yet we can't run the ball. And I stated this last year. I said, listen, if they get rid of Ezekiel Elliott, this is a mistake. Why is it a mistake? Because you need to have a change of pace back. You need to have a back that can go in between the tackles and get you those hard 3-4 yards. That, yes, that's what he averaged. But guess what? A 1st and 3, you get on first down, you get 3 to 4 yards. Guess what you have second down? 6 or 7. You run another 3 yards. Guess what you have? A 3rd and 3. Now you can do so many things out of that. Play action, bubble screen, jet sweep. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. Short pass to the outside, like an out, a post, a flag. You have the world as your oyster. But if you're going to do what they like to do, apparently, which is 2P, right? 2P and then punt, which is, or 3P and punt, pass, punt, or pass. Now you're in 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 9, right? And you're trying to run for 9 yards when none of your backs average more than 3.6 or 3.7 yards. Listen, this game is actually pretty simple when you break it down. And when you think about it, the key is you have to go 10 yards to get a first down. And when you do that, if you do it enough times, at least let's say 6, 7 times, depending on your field, when you're starting on your field, you're sitting at first and goal 10 yards or less to get a touchdown. Touchdowns wins games, not field goals, not in the playoffs. And some would say, yeah, you're wrong. Because yeah, a field goal will come down to, whether you win or lose, 2 points, 1 point, whatever you want to call it. But you have to score points. The thing that I saw with the Dallas Cowboys this year was that they cannot play from behind. They have to be in front and they have to be able to score. They can't score more than or less than 21 points. And really, let's call it 22 because that's what Miami beat them by, right? 22-20. You got to score at least 22 points. If you score 22 points, Dallas is going to win. If they score less than 22 points, it's a likelihood that they're going to lose. Yes, even with the second best defense in the league, only behind Baltimore, who's a scary, scary team. But if we see Baltimore, that's Super Bowl. I'm okay with that. The other question that comes to mind is this. As we talk about the regular season and playoffs, and we kind of skip back and forth, but if the Dallas Cowboys do lose, and hit me in the chat with this one, because I really want to know the answer to this or what you believe. If the Dallas Cowboys lose in the first round or second round, or if, let's put it like this, if they don't make it to the NFC Championship, do we say that this season is a bust? Is it time for McCarthy to go? Do we start looking for other options other than Dak Prescott? I think we have to, don't we? I mean, I get it. 8 seasons with Dak, 4 seasons with McCarthy. I mean, who else can he blame? Yes, I get it. Number one offense, right, in the league. High scoring is when we talk about that. Dak having a banner year, possibly will finish second in the MVP race, and he deserves to be second. I'll give him that. Because to me, you either give it to Christian McCaffrey, and I hate saying that, or Lamar Jackson. Up to you. But he's not the MVP of the league. Yes, he was consistent, and maybe that's what you look for in consistency. But I still don't see that he's the MVP of the league. If he wins it, fantastic. Hey, more stuff to put on your mantle, right? More accolades, go get it. But you need to win something. And I do mean something. NFC East title is great. You've got one of those. Now you got two. But you need to win more than an NFC East title, in my opinion. We need to get an NFC championship at the very least. Super Bowl, hey, look, I've told you my theory. Super Bowl happens with Jerry Jones, and you know what's next. And I don't speak ill of anyone. I don't want them, I don't want people to feel like I want that to happen to Jerry. I don't know. Maybe. But hey, one other thing that I did notice while I wasn't able to speak on last week, Jimmy Johnson is in the Ring of Honor. Now listen, we all know that this was a long time coming, right? Jimmy Johnson, one of the greatest coaches in Cowboys history. Now, would I say of all time? I can't say that. I just can't. Yes, he delivered three Super Bowls, and I will continue to contend that he delivered three. Barry Switzer's Super Bowl, nah, 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 nah. That's Jerry. He owes him that ring. He should get that third ring if he doesn't already. But alas, I digress. Two Super Bowls. Yes, absolutely. One of the greatest coaches in Cowboys history. He deserved to be in the ring. It's long overdue. Egos have to be set aside. Come on. And when he made his speech, listen, nothing tops it off better. Nothing tops it off better than Jimmy Johnson saying, and one more thing, how about them Cowboys? Ah, indeed, such a class act. Fantastic. And everyone was still trying to mess up his hair. Oddly enough, it didn't move. It moved when he was younger, but not then. I don't know. It's a pretty nice man unit he's got. Mm. But congrats to Jimmy Johnson, Coach Jimmy Johnson, my coach of America's team. Well deserved, long overdue. So let's get back to this game. Likelihood that the Dallas Cowboys will lose? Nah, I'm not thinking that. Close? Sure. Yeah. Any given Sunday, just like the movie and the song, could happen. But I digress. When you look at this team and what they're capable of doing, look, they're putting the ball in CeeDee Lamb's hands. Wow. After they had the bye, CeeDee got upset. Everyone saw it. Hey, you got to get the ball to him. Cooks, when they kept asking, why did you bring Brandon Cooks in if you're not going to throw it to him? Is he just a decoy? I get he's been on different teams. I believe it's because of his size, but the guy still has burners. He can still catch the ball, and he has a nice catch radius for his size. I mean, you throw the ball to him, I'm expecting him to catch it, and he generally does. So between those two receivers, yeah, you got Gallup, you got Tolbert, but who's the surprise? And I'm sure Trey wishes he was on here so he can get his credit, whatever. Ferguson, Jake Ferguson has shown up as, I won't say elite, but a great tight end. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do because Dallas has produced some great tight ends over the decades. And yes, I did say tight ends and I did say decades, going back to Dan Reeves all the way up. And if you don't believe it, go back, do some research, people. But yes, absolutely, Jake Ferguson is one that I really like. And I think they actually have some other tight ends that are really good. But Ferguson has emerged as number one tight end. Good for him. Kudos. Absolutely going to be a beast. And I think he's going to be a big factor in this game. Since they're playing in AT&T Stadium, there's no wind, there's no weather. Hey, it's perfect for Aubrey to continue to do well. It's unfortunate that he missed two field goals. I blame the announcers. You don't speak about it, you don't talk about it. They even threw up the graphic, which they have to do, 39 or 39, 100% all season. He was going to break the rookie record. Hey, look, still a great kicker. I still want him on the team. I believe he made the Pro Bowl this year. Actually, yeah, he made the Pro Bowl this year. That's crazy. But that's the type of team and this season has been. When you look at the Cowboys and what they're capable of doing, they beat Green Bay. And I'm going to say they're going to beat Green Bay, right? What's next or what's ahead of them? Well, what could happen is you could face Philly again or the Rams. Ooh. Hmm. Now, Philly has to face Tampa Bay Bucks. Here's what's great about this. Because Philly has gone into, well, I don't want to use certain language, but right now Philly's a dumpster fire, right? AJ Brown goes down, hurt, hurt his finger, looks like it was dislocated, popped it back in, but it really hasn't been, the team really hasn't been what they were last year. I believe a lot of it has to do with the coordinators that left, especially D'Amico Ryans. And you know what? Look, I'm not a Houston fan. Let me make sure and clear that I say this. I don't root for the Stros because they're cheaters. Not a big Texans fan. Whatever. I do feel for them though, because they should be able to retain and keep the Oilers logo and jerseys. It just looks weird when it's Tennessee. I don't know. And that was big disrespect when you play the Houston Oilers in Tennessee and you wear the Oilers jerseys and helmet. Yeah, you better have done it in Tennessee because if you did it in Houston, y'all wouldn't have made it to the bus, guaranteed. Anyway, but I'm very happy for D'Amico Ryans and that team because they made it to the playoffs and won the AFC South. That's amazing. That's awesome. But anyway, let's come back here. So, if you have Tampa Bay and they win against Philly, who again is a dumpster fire, yeah, I think that sets up really well because I would rather see them than see the Rams. The Rams are starting to click right now and they're starting to get on board with whatever is going on out there. They're starting to drink the Kool-Aid and maybe they're getting healthier. Maybe they're starting to understand, okay, we actually are a pretty good team. The defense is clicking. Pat Stafford, because you know he likes to pad his stats, and that's why I call him that. But I really love Puka Nakua. Man, what a great story about this kid, especially a rookie and breaking the rookie record. Hey, fantastic. Don't want to see him because now you have to ask yourself, who would he match up against? Would it be Deron Bland or would it be Stephon Gilmore? Now, I've been noticing that Gilmore has been pulling the number one receiver assignments a lot of times. They've also been playing a lot of nickel, which means that, okay, if you're going to play nickel, they play zone or they'll play a man zone type of deal in a nickel or a nickel base. When I talk about nickel, that means 5 DBs if you don't know, but most of you already know this. I like how this plays out, actually. Again, you have to put pressure on the QB. And though Dallas has had a good means of doing this, they've also given up a lot of yards in the running game. And again, I come back to it. They say that you have to be able to stop the run and also run the ball to win. Now they're talking about, hey, 20 years later, when they were saying this, it's changed. You have to be able to pass the ball and rush the passer. I don't know. What do you think? Should you be able to stop the run as a priority, or should you be able to rush the passer as a priority? I'm kind of thinking it's the latter because today you don't have a featured back. You usually just have two backs, right? And I know a lot of your fantasy teams suffered greatly. Maybe it was just mine, but I couldn't have a featured back. They'd only get me like maybe 15 points on a good day, maybe 20, unless you had like Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey, who was a featured back. Maybe you had Mostart, but then he fell off a little bit here and there. What a disaster! But that's the NFL, and that's what's going on. So I'm looking forward to it. You tell me in the chat, in the comments, hey, what are you looking forward to this weekend? I do believe, yes, Dallas is going to win. Not only this week, but we'll see next week. We'll talk about it then because we'll be here Tuesday, 8:30 ish, to talk about Cowboys cutting up. Of course, I'm J-Stogs, the Buff Nerd. Let's go. You can always make sure that you check us out on Big Game Sports Entertainment or BGSE Network on YouTube. Also, you can subscribe, hit that bell. We'll also load it up to Spotify, Apple Plus, or wherever you like Apple Plus, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, we're there. Um, but I really do want to hear your comments. Let me know what you think. Cowboys, what's the score? Ooh, I'll tell you my idea. Actually, I do believe we'll get that 27, but I think Green Bay will probably come up with 17. Again, you got to score more than 22 points. You score more than 22, you win the game. You score less than 22, and Dak cannot throw more than 41 times. If he throws anywhere near that, they've lost the game. It's a fact. Just look it up. The stats are there. He will lose the game if he throws it more than 41 times, or if he throws it around 41 times. 37-38 is really good. Look, we've got to understand what Pollard is. He's, 15 and 17 carries. He's only going to get you about 3.6, 3.7 yards a carry. Donald is about the same, 3.6, 3.7 yards a carry. And he's probably only going to carry about 10 times a game. Dak is actually going to be your highest yards per carry, but he carries maybe 3 times a game. So don't look for the running game to bail you out. It's just really there to confuse the defense. Kind of like the West Coast, right? The pass sets up the run, yet we just pass. So I don't know. You help me figure it out. I'll help you figure it out. Hey, that's all the time I'm going to do tonight. Again, this Cowboys Cutting Up. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you next Tuesday. America's team, let's go. I love it. It's fantastic.